Good morning. I don't know what day this is on Daily Dose of Salt. Maybe day 15, 16, 17, something like that. Today, I'm going to tell you a little story, a short story about John Grisolm, the author. Um, and today, Kimmy and I are leaving Lanai for 3.5 weeks. We're going to Salt Lake City, Utah for a week. We're going to Kelowna, British Columbia for 3 or 4 days. Coeur d'Alene, Idaho for 3 or 4 days. And Table Rock Mountain, Table Rock Lake in Ozark, Missouri. We're going to Lake of the Ozarks. That's a golf trip. Hello, Susan. Hello, Molly. But today's Daily Dose of Salt is about John Grisolm and about mastery and about consistency. How consistency creates mastery. So I was reading this a couple days ago about John Grisolm. I didn't know this, or maybe it was, it was on Sunday mornings. Willie Geist, I think, ABC or NBC. He does these personal interest stories, and he did an interview with John Grisolm. But here's what stood out to me about this story. So John Grisolm, as you may know, is an author, and he writes these fiction books about, one of his most famous is the movie with Tom Cruise, The Firm. You may have read that book 25 years ago or something. That is a John Grisolm book. And so he writes all kinds of books like that. And he is one of three authors, Game of Thrones author, whatever her name is, and one other who I can't remember right now, one of three authors whose first book, like first printing of a book, 2 million copies. So he writes a book and he sells 2 million copies right off the bat. But here's the interesting thing about John Grisolm. John Grisolm, according to this news story I saw, has authored a best-selling novel every year for 47 years in a row. 47 best-selling books in a row. 47. Now, how do you do that? Is that because you're such a great writer? Is that because you're lucky? Is that because, why is that? Well, obviously, he's built up this tremendous reputation so that when he releases a new book, everybody wants it. So he has a tribe, he has a following. But how did he create that? This is the interesting part. Every year, gosh, I can't remember how many years they said, but might be 25 years in a row, might be 47 years in a row, I can't remember. Every year, John Grisolm, on January 1st, starts writing a new book. And he gives himself a deadline of July 1st. January 1st to July 1st. New book. And he writes every morning from 7 a.m. to noon. From 7 a.m. to noon, John Grisolm writes, even today, at the age, I think he's the same age as me, I think he's 67. Every day from 7 a.m. to noon for 6 months, he writes. And I've written a couple of books, so here's how I contrast. Like, I wrote Mach 2 in 3 weeks. I wrote the 4-year career in about a week, maybe not even a week. Maybe with editing, it took a week. Graphics took another week. So I think, of course, neither one of those have sold 2 million copies. And if I were to release a new book, well, some people would buy it, right? But not 2 million people. So what's the difference between John Grisolm and me? Well, simple, right? I'm like a 3-week wonder. I write a book, takes 3 weeks. That's how much effort I put into it. And I actually rewrote the book 2 years ago when I was living in Australia. Kimmy and I were living there for one summer. I decided to put the book on Audible. So I went to a studio to read it, and I couldn't even get through the first half a chapter. I thought, this is horrible. This is so poorly written, I can't even read it. So I went back to our rental house in Australia, and I rewrote it in 3 days, the whole book. And then I did the same thing with the 4-year career. So the difference between me as an author and John Grisolm is, light years, right? Light years. I'm an amateur. I'm a fool when it comes to being an author. An amateur and a fool. If I have any expectations of anybody buying my books, I'm a fool. Why? Well, because I put weeks into writing these books. John Grisolm, on the other hand, he's a professional. He deserves to be worth whatever he's worth financially. He deserves the reputation, the notoriety, the fame, the respect. Why? Because he writes every day from 7 a.m. to noon, 6 months in a row. And he does it every year. And they asked him, why do you do it? If you don't need the money, why do you keep cranking out best-selling books? And his answer was simple: because I love the work. I love the creativity. I love the process. But think about his process compared to mine. I don't read his books, but I don't know if the book has 15 chapters, then he's writing a chapter every 2 weeks, a chapter. And I wrote a whole book in 3 weeks, 2 weeks, right? So what's he putting into his book compared to what I'm putting into my book? Light years different, light years. So how does this have meaning to us? Well, whatever you're doing, I don't know what you're doing professionally. I don't know what you're looking to build, but I know a lot of us that watch my broadcasts are network marketers. And here's one of the things I find about people in network marketing. What they want is they want to be a John Grisolm. They want to be famous. They want to be respected. They want to build a business worth millions, which in network marketing just means that you've built an income of maybe, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 a month. People want that. They run around talking about it. They dream about it. They visualize it. They do all this stuff. But if you were to track their work ethic, their consistency, it doesn't match up with the goal. So one of the first things that I've always done with new people that I enrolled in network marketing is sit them down and say, what do you want? What do you want to create? How much income do you want to have 6 months from now, a year from now? And really drill down deep on that. Why do you want it? What are you going to do with it? Kind of vet it. Is it real? Are you committed to it? Are you passionate about it? And really get to some truth around that. And then I've always felt compelled to show them exactly what they have to do to earn it. And I got to tell you, so many people, when they figure out what they have to do to earn it, they don't want it so much anymore. They're not quite so passionate about it. So you get where I'm going with this, right? We all have big dreams. We have big wants. We have big wishes. We want great things in life. The question is, are we willing to do the work to get it? And in most cases, you know what the answer is? No, we're not. I'm not judgmental about that. I think you should do with your life whatever you want to do with it. Spend your money however you want. Spend your time however you want. But it's a bad setup in life to want something worth perhaps millions. You build a network marketing organization, pays you 10 grand a month in residual income, that's worth at least $2 million. So think about what you're asking from your network marketing company. You're asking your company to give you an asset, give you a business worth $2 million. And so you got to ask the question, what are you giving them? What are you willing to give them? Because the only way you're going to make 10 grand a month is if you create enough customers on which there can be enough commissions every month to pay you 10 grand a month. So are you willing to do that? Are you willing to do the work? And look at how John Grisolm goes at it every day from 7 a.m. to noon. I have coached a lot of full-time networkers. I've coached a lot of people that want to go full-time in network marketing. A lot of people have that dream. They want to go full-time in network marketing. And it's a crazy thing, actually, because the people that go full-time in network marketing, generally what they end up doing is standing around looking all day, at the countertop or their desktop or their cell phone or social media, and they don't really know what to do with their time. Why? Because there's not that much to do. Unlike writing a best-selling author, to build a multi-million dollars in business in network marketing, you don't have to work from 7 to noon every day. You don't. There's not that much to do. In fact, if you worked your business an hour a day, you'd be a total rock star. Every day, though. See, that's the difference. You got to do it every day. John Grisolm somehow knows that secret, that he can't afford to write every other day. He can't afford to write every third day. He can't afford to write when he's inspired to write. He can't afford to write when he feels like writing. He has to write every day, and he locks himself into writing for 5 hours, whether he likes what he writes, enjoys the process or not, right? So the question I leave you with, whatever you're pursuing, riches in real estate, being a mortgage broker, fitness, whatever you're pursuing in life, figure out what it actually takes to get it, and then ask yourself, are you willing to pay the price? Are you willing to enjoy the price? Are you willing to do the work? Because if you're not, what you set yourself up for is great frustration, because you keep being in the game, right? You keep like, okay, I'm doing it. I'm trying. I'm like whatever, but I'm not getting the result. And that's very frustrating. And nobody deserves to have that in their life. What we deserve to have in our life is integrity and freedom and peace. And the only way you get that is the truth, right? Figure out what the truth is. So maybe another way to back into it is, what are you willing to do? And then ask an expert, hey, I'm willing to work, half hour a day, 3 days a week. If I do that every week for 6 months, what can I expect to get? Ask an expert that, whatever you're doing, and then see if you like the answer. And the challenge is to match those two up. Match the goal with the willingness to work and the consistency. And then you have peace and you have integrity. And that's my message for today. If you're on the 10-day Bliss Life Transformation audio series, tell me what day you're on and what you're getting out of it. What day are you on and what you're getting out of it? And if you're not on it, Richard Petty, hello, buddy. Good to see you. I think you're in Texas somewhere, aren't you? You probably live right next door to Craig Wright and don't even know it. Hello, Gore. Day 6. Thank you. Anybody else? This is a link that I've dropped in my Daily Dose of Salt a few times in the last week. It's free. Regina, day 4. All right. I'll drop the link again if you want to check it out. Thank Catherine.